Happy Wellness Wednesday. I feel so blessed to be here, and I'm excited to talk to you today about ending the day on a positive note. And it's such an important part of the healing process. My name is Robin Lee. I'm a medical intuitive that lives in Southern California. I've been in practice for over 33 years now, and I'm so grateful to be here. Every single day we're given on this beautiful planet that we live on. We're given all kinds of new experiences and opportunities. We oftentimes put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and we look around and we compare ourselves to other people. We might be scrolling around on social media. We might be accumulating positive information, positive tools, positive things that we can actually incorporate into our day-to-day routine. But then by the end of the day, we may notice that we fall short. This has been happening to me a lot lately. That's why I'm here sharing with you, to be completely sincere and honest. It's been happening a lot to me lately. I have all kinds of things that I feel like would really enhance how I would feel. And in fact, I know that different tools and techniques that I could spend my time doing would really help me feel more energized, more optimistic, and just across the board better. But sometimes I just don't have it in me. Sometimes I think life, sometimes emotions, sometimes just energy's off, not really feeling a connection to really focus on self-care. It happens, I think, to the best of us. And I know you can relate, and I certainly can relate, as I've just recently come out of a place of really resisting caring for myself. The one thing that I've noticed, though, that was such an important focus for me was giving myself a commitment at the end of the day to focus on one or two things that I chose to do positively for myself. Instead of looking at the 10 things that I could have done, instead of looking at the 35 things that would have ideally helped me out, I took nice big deep breaths. I put my hands on my chest. So when I say nice big deep breaths, I put my hands on the chest. Just 3 to 5 of those. And I ask myself to sincerely look at my day. And my default, my negative brain was telling me, though, you should have done this and you didn't do this and you had this and you could have not had that. You'd probably feel better. And taking those 3 to 5 breaths and being kind to myself and hearing how my brain was working, I asked myself the simple question: what 2 things was I proud of for myself committing to today? What 2 or 3 choices did I make that I was actually proud of? And I stayed focused on that, and my brain would activate and it would say, well, 3 things, you should have been doing 6 things, or you laid around doing nothing for 2 hours and you could have been so much more productive. Well, in fact, that's all true. The reality is I just didn't feel like it. And at the end of the day, there were positive things that I did for myself. And sometimes those positive things aren't the things that are on my to-do list. Sometimes just laying around when I'm tired is a positive thing that I'm choosing to do. Sometimes taking big, deep breaths when I'm worried about something and allowing myself to pray or to meditate or to journal about whatever is really weighing on my heart or mind. Sometimes it's drinking water. Sometimes it's taking the time to go to the gym, and maybe I only feel like doing 20 minutes of aerobic exercise and then I leave. Some people would say, well, that's pointless. It's not pointless. And it was 20 minutes that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't choose to make that a priority. It's very interesting how hard we can be on ourselves. And the thing is the harder we are on ourselves, some people can find that motivating. For me, I find that depleting. I find it actually really depleting when I'm telling myself all the things that I could have done better, all of the things that I should have done. And instead of allowing myself to stop and take those breaths and ask myself, but yeah, all those things might be true, but what am I actually really proud of myself for? Or what positive things did I actually take priority doing? As I give myself the opportunity to really anchor into that and acknowledge it. For example, Maybe I took a nap, and that wouldn't be something normally on my to-do list, but that I gave myself permission to rest, and allowing myself to think about what it felt like to rest and how well rested my body felt and how happy I felt that I took that time, how surprised I felt. And then I just breathe that in. Maybe my positive action was using a body scrub. You might think, well, that's silly. It's silly perhaps, but it's the simple things oftentimes that we can stay committed to that allow us to stay anchored in ourselves. And if we're always telling ourselves we're silly, and we're telling ourselves that we could be enough or do more, and we're not doing enough, and we're telling ourselves that instead of anchoring into, actually, I am doing enough. And today, maybe it wasn't my greatest day, but these are the things that I chose to do, and I'm proud of myself for them. It makes such a huge difference in how I wake up the next morning. It makes such a huge difference in how I sleep. And ultimately, it makes such a huge difference in how I feel about myself. Instead of feeling like a piece of crap because I'm not doing 20 things that I know that are really awesome for me to do, I give myself permission to just give myself a break. And I tell myself tomorrow is a new day, and I'm so grateful for the day that I just lived through. And I'm grateful for these things that I chose to do to take care of myself today. Giving yourself the space to explore all of the actions and non-actions that you take is such a great way of positively enhancing your physical and emotional energy. When we're always beating ourselves up and we're always telling ourselves we should do more, we haven't done enough, this isn't okay, what starts to happen is we start to become absolutely exhausted. This isn't okay for us to do to ourselves. That's an act of self-hatred, not an act of self-love. That is not an act of self-caring and self-connection and self-awareness. Allow yourself to be honest with yourself, but to commit to being positive at the end of the day. How come? Because it's the end of the day. It's not like you're going to get up and go do something when you're already getting ready to go to bed. Instead, you get to tell yourself positive things that you're actually proud of yourself for. I'm proud that I got into the car and went to the gym and lasted 20 minutes. Yes. Would it be really cool if I would have worked out for a full hour? Absolutely. But you know what? Maybe my body is feeling really stressed. Maybe I'm not sleeping well at night. Maybe I've been really worried and just exhausting myself. And instead of beating myself up even more, I take good, big, deep breaths and give myself permission to just hug myself with positive messages and positive points of affirmation and gratitude. I'm so grateful that I took the time to get into my car to go to the gym. I'm so grateful that I gave myself that experience. I'm so grateful that I chose to drink 64 ounces of water today. And then my brain will say, well, you're supposed to be drinking 100 ounces of water. Wow, I'm so grateful. And I just say it again. I had 64 ounces of water today. I could have chosen to have 0. And giving myself permission, supposed to have 2 servings of vegetables every time you eat. I'm so grateful that I chose to have a salad today. It's giving myself permission to acknowledge the wins, even if they're not the perfect wins, which has been a huge piece of my healing puzzle. Because you see, in order to heal the body, we have to pay attention to where all of our energy and all of our emotional being actually goes, where our mind thinks, where our emotions are, what's affecting us in our life, and what we're giving our energy to. So if we're giving our energy to negative, focused, I'm not enough, I'm not doing enough over and over and over again, we start to feel tired. We start to feel hopeless. We start to feel depressed. We start to feel anxious. We start to feel angry. We start to feel kind of just off. And that's the thing, is we have to take responsibility for how we're personally communicating to ourselves. And yeah, you've had some days just like I have where you're completely on point and really committed. Other days, sometimes they're just harder than others. So at the end of those days, always promise yourself to focus on the things that you're actually proud and grateful for, that you chose to make a priority. Because the thing is I didn't have to take a nap. I didn't have to go to the gym for 20 minutes. I didn't have to drink any water at all. I didn't have to have a salad. I could have done none of that, right? But I chose to, because there's positive energy that I want to give to myself and allow myself to feel better, to feel more supported, and to feel more aligned. I'm hearing this messaging a lot lately with my clients, where there's this constant pressure of feeling like not enough, whether it's not enough money, not enough time, not enough self-care, not enough love, not enough this, not enough that. It's a really important process, whatever you're personally dealing with, at the end of the day, to focus on one or two things. It doesn't have to be a lot of them, that you're actually grateful for, or that you're positive that you chose to take action where you didn't have to, and give yourself that consistent messaging. And then tell yourself tomorrow's a different day. And then tomorrow, do you want to commit to doing something differently? Because sometimes at night, if you think about that beforehand, it makes a huge difference. So for me, like yesterday, I said, oh, today I'm going to be going to the gym in the morning at 9 o'clock, and I went to the gym at 9 o'clock, and that was awesome, right? And I committed to having a salad at lunch, and I had a salad at lunch, and I drank all my water today, and today has been one of those days that at the end of the day, it's going to be easy for me to give myself a high five and tell myself, hey, I'm stoked that I chose to do this today. But on those days where it's not like that, those difficult days are the days where the positive energy is such an important priority, because that energy clicks into the next day. Even though we say every day is a new day, it is, but we want to use the evening to stop and reset so that we can feel the energy of the new day. Otherwise, and I know you know what it's like, we wake up feeling angry, we wake up feeling hopeless, we don't sleep well, our sleep is disturbed, we're not getting good quality sleep because we're too busy bantering ourselves and making ourselves feel negative, making ourselves stay focused on the negative, and that's just not healthy for us, for our mindset. And if you're trying to heal the body, it is critical that you're not beating yourself up. Beating yourself up creates a ton of inflammation in the body. The way you talk to yourself has a significant impact on how inflamed your body will actually be. Over and over and over again, I work with people that have highly inflammatory conditions, and I am always intrigued how that inflammation starts to decrease as they start focusing on honoring how they're feeling, but staying focused and shifting that negative focus into a positive mentality, and watching how the inflammation and those inflammatory markers start to decrease in the body. How we think, our habits on our day-to-day basis are much bigger than going to the gym, are much bigger than eating well. Of course, those things are really important, but how are we talking to ourselves? That's a big one. So at the end of the day, regardless of if it's an easy high five day or a difficult one, I promise you, you can find one or two things easy that you can tell yourself, I am proud that I chose to do this today. Today was not an easy day for me to make that a priority. Be honest, kind, and loving to yourself. That is the key of the healing process. Explore. If you have many days in a row where it's difficult, ask yourself emotionally what's going on, or where your mindset is focused that may be making it harder for you to genuinely take care of yourself. And if you sit and listen for the answers, you definitely will get them. So thank you for showing up today. I am here the first and third Wednesdays every single month, and I love sharing whatever I can possibly share to help you anchor into a more profound healing process within yourself. If you haven't subscribed to my station below, please take the time to do it. Then you'll get a notification of when I launch new videos. All right, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.